Hello, kitchen witchlings, and welcome to my Witchin kitchen. My name is Smokin' Ash, or you could just call me Ash, and I'm working with Joanne Asala's cooking manual, Celtic Folklore Cooking. I've been using this book for a few recipes, and it is super good. This book gives you not just really tasty recipes, but interesting insight into the cultural aspects of the food, when they were generally eaten, and fun Celtic proverbs. To start us off, I thought I would share my first attempt at making apple cinnamon cake. In AD 77, Pliny wrote, "Cinnamon is said to grow in marshes under the protection of a terrible kind of bat." Nowadays, cinnamon is much easier to come by and, when paired with apples, as in the recipe below, makes for a spectacular dessert. Cinnamon can be used in spells to attract love or increase sexual prowess. It increases clairvoyant abilities and can be used in protective spells. Originally, this cake would have been baked in a pot beside the hearth, but for practicality, you can use your oven. The recipe seems easy enough to follow with just 10 ingredients and only 20 minutes of baking time. You'll need 2 eggs, 1½ cups of sugar separated, a 1/3 cup of cream, 1 stick of butter softened, a pinch of salt, 1 apple peeled, cored, and grated, 1½ cups of flour, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1½ teaspoons of freshly ground cinnamon, and 4 medium-sized cooking apples, peeled, cored, and sliced. Now with our ingredients assembled, and our apple pieces oxidizing very quickly, let's get to baking. First, beat the eggs with 1 cup of sugar. Then, combine cream, butter, and salt in a small saucepan. Heat until near boiling. Remove and immediately pour onto the egg mixture. Fold in the grated apple, flour, baking powder, and cinnamon. I would like to take this moment to brag about this wonderful new kitchen instrument that I received from the lovely people over at the Witch's Box. I'm in no way sponsored by them, but I have been super happy with their stuff and plan to use this a bunch, so I wanted to mention it. Anyway, back to baking. Next, pour the batter into a greased 9x9-inch baking pan. Arrange the apple slices on top and sprinkle with the remaining sugar. This is normally where I'd show me doing that, but I forgot when I hit the record button to start and stop the recording, so just take my word for it. Also, I used a little bit less of the sugar than it recommended because I was worried about having too much sugar, but honestly, I think I probably could have used the suggested amount. Bake for about 20 minutes at 400 degrees or until the cake is firm to the touch. A kitchen quick tip, make sure you check to see if your cake is fully baked through by sticking a toothpick or other thin utensil through the center and see if anything comes out. If there's wet batter left on it, better to put it back in for a few minutes. If it's clean, you're all done. And speaking of being all done, looks like this cake is ready to be served, and we will be serving it warm. Now that the hard work is done, it's time to enjoy the fruits of our labor. I personally opted to put a dollop of vanilla ice cream on top because I'm living my best life, but that is entirely up to you. Despite being unsure of myself partway through this process, this came out really well. My roommates and I ate it all up in a couple of days, and they want me to make it again, so I'll consider it a success. According to Joanne, this apple cinnamon cake is associated with Lugnasad, Mabon, and Samhain, harvest festivals, and general Esbat suppers. I plan to have another series dedicated to exploring each of the Sabbats and possibly the Esbats, so if you're interested in learning more, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell thing to get notifications for when that eventually comes out. And if you like this video, you can do the same thing for future Witchin Kitchen installments. Next time I'll be making some rice custard, which I think came out really well. Do you have a recipe you want to see me bake and do some witchy research on? Let me know in the comments below or hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I'm everywhere! It's a problem. But until then, stay safe, have fun, and use your magic wisely. Ash out.